Okay, we're going to talk about installing the Viking fuel sensor in a CH750 STOL 15-gallon tank. And first and foremost, I want to say it does not go in the end of the tank. It will not work if you put it sideways, because this slides up and down, selects various reed switches inside that tube, which go to combinations of resistors. So, not sideways. I've made the video partly because I figured I better make this Doomcough proof. This is the flange from Viking aircraft engines. Very nicely machined flange. And something to point out early on is these holes are not symmetric. Okay? The next batch did not match. So, probably should give yourself an index mark so you know which way the wire is going to be pointing when you're all done. That way you know. Okay, this happens to be, see if I can get this in the light, a 001305K sending unit. This is how it looks in the tank. And I moved mine back a little bit because running across here are some creases for rigidity that are put in the tank as supplied. Of course, this is forward and this is inboard. I did a 3D drawing using FreeCAD, which is pretty good. It's totally free, works very well. You could do 3D drawings in it. Now the manufacturer says not to mount it more than ½ inch, or closer than ½ inch to the bottom of the tank or the side of the tank. So we're a little bit close there. As you can see, this is all drawn to scale. And again, this is a 15-gallon tank, not a 12-gallon tank. The original drawings, the ones that I have, show a 12-gallon tank. So, the 4 inches off from the side of the tank, and from the top of the tank, or front of the tank, I said 4 inches, yeah, 102 is 4 inches. This is 3.5 or so inches. It's in metric 91.8. Okay, let me grab the tank and we'll talk a bit about how that part goes. Okay, and of course you've already added this tool to the list of tools you will need. So we come in and measure this lip here, because we're concerned about where it is in the bottom of the inside of the tank. So that reads about 4 millimeters. Okay. Then we have to come in a little ways to come past this with the flange. So I elected to put a 10 millimeters on that. So we're going to be something like right there. So 3 inches is the minimum distance, which puts the flange right there on that bead. Maybe not what you want to do. I elected to go to in this case it'd be 90 or so millimeters, because this is 4 millimeters and 76 millimeters, so that's 80, and a 10 millimeters here is going to be 90. Okay, let me grab a sharp Sharky. I'll be right back. Always forget something. So I pulled back a couple of millimeters to make the mark accurate. Okay, and the other one is 102 in from the edge, and I'm going to use just this tank edge, and so we'll go with that. So 90, call it about 100 and a half, so this mark is accurate. Oops. There we go. Double, triple checking. That doesn't look quite right. Didn't add something up. 4 millimeters there. 76 is 80. 10 is 90. Didn't quite move far enough. Not quite sure what I'm doing wrong. Let's see. That's 100. So it's 50 millimeters. It's 100 across the flange, 102 across the flange. So 50 millimeters of that, 51 millimeters to center. Just double check my measurement. Oh, there's the problem. Just misadded, mismeasured. Okay. So 50 mils off of that, 51 mils, because this turns out to be 4 inches in diameter. So 51 mils off that mark should be off that crease. There we go. That looks better. Yeah, always good to use moron math. So this is the hole we want. Yeah, of course, when you're running your mouth, you don't engage thinking that much. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about the next step before I turn the thing upside down and do this. In fact, let me get the tank out of the way and talk about tools for a minute, and then I'll bring the tank back. Okay. This is a 78 or so hole saw. And you want to use gentle pressure when you do this. And you want to set your drill so that it doesn't have a whole lot of torque. Because if the thing catches, it's liable to twist and snap the bit. Next thing you know, you got a screwed up tank. So you want to do that, you know, safety first, as they say. You need to drill a pilot hole. You knew that. When we go to drill the holes for the clecos, I've got a stop here to keep this from going so far up into the tank. When you do fuel systems, it's important not to get them contaminated. Do not allow contamination. And of course I mentioned that you need a lathe. I made this little ditty bop so that I could use it to deburr the holes. Okay, let's bring the tank up here and start doing stuff. And of course I need to bring you down below, which there'll be a bit of jiggling going on here in a minute. Bear with me while I do this. Okay, we're taking you down. Down, down, down in a burning ring of fire. There's just some music. All these people on YouTube seem to think you have to have music when you're not doing anything particularly useful. Yeah, let's see. Let's pivot that up. That should be about right. Okay, I'm going to tie the tank down so it doesn't fall off. You can use your favorite straps, bits of rope, whatever. Go. Tank is pretty much secured there. Won't fall off. I got my stool. Let me check the view and see if you're looking at the right thing. Up under there. Could be a little better. Okay, we got our mark. Okay, let's drill that pilot hole. Okay, now for the hole saw. The hole saw does have a little spring ditty bop here, so you have to kind of push to make it go. Take your time. Let's have a look, see where we've gotten to. Okay, I can see I'm not cutting right there. So I'll tilt it a little bit and cut that side. Got a scratch there. Do as I say, not as I do. I got a nice aluminum washer to save for later. Okay. Now that that's done, we're going to do a little cleanup, do a little vacuuming. So you just don't want anything to get into a fuel system. Okay, we're going to let gravity help. I'm going to bring you back up top side and turn the tank back up right side, and we'll position the flange to drill it. Okay. Sorry about the mug shot. I know it's early. Anyway, let's get the tank untied. Let's see if we got you there. Yep, you'll be there shortly. See if we can get you looking down a little more. All right, we want to get it centered in the hole. And we want to get it indexed so that the wire's pointing where we want to point it. So let's do a little more on math here and make sure all the sticks are the same length as the blue one. Okay, that's how the screws line up, and we want the thing to come out here this way. Want it facing that way. So let's put the index mark on the tank. Yep. I'm going to push it most of the way that way that it'll go. That's not the good one. Well, maybe it is. Nope, there's the good one. Okay, I'm going to push it that way as far as it goes, this way as far as it goes, that way as far as it goes, and that way as far as it goes. Okay, when all the marks are pretty much equidistant, you've pretty much got it centered. You've got it pointed in the right direction. Time for a little tape. I forgot to pick the tape loose, so it's got to be a minute while I do that. This is good stuff, Maynard. Okay, gonna take you back underneath. And turn the tank back over. Tie down strap, safety first. Wouldn't want this lightweight aluminum tank to conk me on the head now, would we? Tighten it up just a little more. Okay. Now we're all set. So, move a few things around, tidy up a minute while I find things. What did it do with the Cleco pliers? I said I had them on here. Yeah, well, bear with me a second. Where did I put those pliers? Oh, there they are. There's some Clecos. Yeah, one hit the floor. Yeah. Yeah, let me have a look and see if you're looking where you can see pretty good what's going on. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Should be able to see okay there. Okay. All four Clecos, got my drill. Okay. Get the tank out. Let me double check the view here. Yep, that's pretty good. Put it right in the center of the screen. There you go. Okay. Maybe this will go better with no mistakes because I'm finally not talking that much. All else fails, shut your mouth while you're doing stuff. You don't want to push real hard on it because you tend to make a dent in the tank if you're not careful. Or if you're running your mouth while you're drilling holes and talking about irrelevant stuff, also might be a causation. When you're drilling, it's probably not a good idea to run the drill bit in and out 3 or 4 times. Just drill the hole and stop. That way, if it's undersized, you can drill it out, but you won't make it oversized. I've ordered myself some sealer. There's several of them that you can use. Several sealers you can use. The thing to watch out with the sealers is they have a very short shelf life, usually about 9 months. So you want to make sure you check the expiration date, because you don't want to take this thing out because the fuel's leaking out of it. And that'll be a separate video because the sealer hasn't arrived yet. I found somebody who had some and ordered it. So when that turns up, we'll go from there. You can go make yourself a sandwich while I finish drilling this if you want. Then we'll come back to the idea of deburring, or we can fast forward. Yeah, shy a couple of clecos going up. Coming back. Of course, if the fuel sender's length gets to be a problem for some reason, you can order them custom made from Cuss, or you can order a shorter one, a stock shorter one. This happens to be a 6.5-inch length one. Notice I started here where it was touching and came around, and it's pulled it in pretty nicely right there. Okay. Alright, so all drilled. Out come the clecos. Well, it's still upside down. If a cleco won't come out, try turning the pliers 90 degrees and try it again, or turning the cleco 90 degrees. Try it again. Or put a cleco back in and try to get that one out. You don't want to move the cleco excessively because you elongate the holes, which there's pretty good tolerance with the pop rivets specified by the aircraft manufacturer. You'll look that up in the instructions, I'm sure. But still, never hurts to be precise on things. It just comes out a little better that way. Get this stuff off. You want to peel the tapes and stuff off as soon as possible because they're bugger to get the residue off later. Yeah, you can see all that stuff there. So we'll be vacuuming that off. Also can catch it with a piece of tape. Yeah, okay, that seems to have worked pretty good. Now, let's do another vacuum job. Okay, let's deburr inside those holes. For those of you interested in making the tool, most drill bits for aircraft are 1/4 20. This, the little countersink with guide, or whatever you want to call it, deburring tool with guide, this thing is 1/4 28 threads. Paw out of there. Somehow it got bigger. All back in there. Yeah. There we go. Doesn't take a whole lot. A little bit though. Make sure you get them all. See, I get that one. Pretty much all deburred. That's a little piece of tape there. Yeah, it wasn't a burr, it was a piece of tape. Okay, let's get a little Scotch-Brite. Bring it up a little more. Gotta clean that up with a file a bit. Yeah. Okay, still got a little bit of an inside burr there. Okay, all deburred. Now let's tidy up again. Alrighty, I'm going to bring you back up top and we'll turn the tank right side up. There we go. There's a pretty good view. Well, that I'll have to deal with a little bit later. We'll polish that out. And even if it needs it, we might even weld it, but it looks like a surface scratch from where I slipped running my mouth. I've got to do a little more vacuuming just to get there's a few pieces got away despite my efforts. Okay, that looks pretty good. Alrighty, let's double check what we did. Index mark. Sending unit. Alright, there we go. That's installed. Another problem you may find with yours is the screw threads in these flanges came a little bit shy of the bottom. Again, I don't know if I can get this where you can see it. And what you need is a bottoming tap. 1032 is the size. Let me get this out of the way. Okay. Bring you down a little bit. Okay. So, you need a 1032 tap. It's a bottoming tap. Taps come three different ways. They come an initial tap for making the initial hole, and they come an intermediate tap, they call it, and a bottoming tap. And of course, I didn't have one. Now, what I did was I just ground off the ends, put a slight taper right there, so that I could tap the holes out a little deeper. Come on, you. Would be a stubborn butt, wouldn't it? Yeah, well, I'll get the tap started. Turns out the thing was loose. Get it started in. Yeah, just want to be difficult. Did the other one with no problem without the camera. Okay, there it is. You got to take a bit of care to make sure things are going the way you want them to go. Tighten up the tap wrench would help. Okay. And don't get in a hurry and don't push it too hard, because it is aluminum. When you get to the bottom, stop. Come back out. And that will give you a slightly deeper hole in that and a little better grip for the screws. You know, it's a beautifully machined piece of equipment. Viking does a grand job, but I just wanted to give you that. I know it's been rather a long video, but other people run long videos, and they seem to bore us to tears with their stuff, so you can be special too and be bored also. That's it for today. We're waiting on the sealant.